Hi, I'm Dave Waddell. I've worked for the past 30 years helping schools improve the environmental health and safety of their science, art, and technology programs. As an offshoot of this, I've helped amateur and professional artists stay healthy and protect the environment while creating vibrant art.
And in this short video, we'll be talking about how jewelers can protect themselves from corrosives. When I'm saying protect yourself, what I'm talking about is protecting your skin, protecting your eyes, and protecting your lungs. So in terms of skin protection from corrosives, this woman's definitely look like she's doing it. She's got her eye protection on. She's got big gloves on, wearing a nice big apron. That looks pretty solid. So what is proper skin protection for acids? Long sleeve shirt, pants that go all the way down to your ankles, long gloves, closed-toed shoes. So those Birkenstocks look great, but anything that splashes down on them can get on your feet. A splash apron is great, like the one that our model is wearing. And a face shield is terrific, like the woman in the last photo had. Now, you don't have to wear all of these things, but if you can get at them, it's going to keep you much better protected. If you're wearing disposable gloves, whether they're latex or nitrile like these, they're okay with diluted acids, but they're not very thick and they're not very durable. So for concentrated acids, we do not recommend that you wear disposable gloves. What you want is, like our initial person here, is to wear acid-resistant reusable gloves. Now, they're reusable for a while, but once they've gotten to that point, stop using them. They're not that expensive. Throw away corroded, discolored, stained gloves and replace them with new ones. Because at some point, these things are going to break down and those corrosive acids are going to get through and get on your skin. In terms of eye protection, you want to wear something that's actually sealing around the perimeter of your eye, like the doggles that we see in our photo here. Anytime you're working with corrosive liquids, you need to wear goggles. These are nice goggles. Working with your acids naked, really not recommended. It's okay at Burning Man, but that's about it. You should have an eye wash in your studio if you're working with acids regularly, because the chances are you are running the risk of getting acids in your eyes, and just splashing some water from the sink is not adequate. So when we're talking about eye washes, what are we talking about? What you want to have is you want to have something that has water flowing out of two spigots so it can flush both of your eyes, and it needs to be hands-free. I'll talk about that in just a second. This is what I call the pirate eye wash, because if you try to use just this one and you get acid in both eyes, you're going to be wearing a really nice black patch over your left one. So on the right, we can see a photo of a really nice sink-mounted eye wash. What you want is you want to have about a half a gallon a minute of water flowing for 15 continuous minutes over your eyes. And it needs to operate hands-free. And because, as you can see in the model on the right, the eyes need to be actually held open. The eyelids need to be held open. Because if you get something corrosive in your eyes, you're not going to be able to voluntarily keep your eyes open. And you want that water to be flushed in there. You want to be able to roll your eyes around in circles so all sides of your eyeball is getting flushed with that water from the sink. You can buy these little bottles that can be mounted on the wall. It's called an emergency eye face wash station, like the one on the left. The problem is they're only a quarter of a gallon, and that's not going to last for 15 minutes. So it's not enough water. Those work fine to give you sort of a first splash before you go to the real eye wash, but they are not an adequate substitute. Those eye washes are not all that expensive. These are really cheap, and the water in these things can actually go bad over time and get bacteria in it. But the eye washes are not that expensive. Here's one from Grainger that's for under $100. The thing is, they do have to work hands-free. So if you've got a spigot that has a spring on it, and you twist it, and when you let go, it automatically turns off, that's not going to work if you're going to have to use both your hands. The way these work is your sink works exactly like it always does. Water's coming out through the nozzle down into the sink, unless you either pull or push, depending on the model, that little button, at which point the water starts coming out of those two nozzles up above. It just threads right onto your sink. It's not perfect, but it's way better than not having anything. And we strongly encourage that you purchase something like this, or an even better one that's plumbed separately for your studio if you're working with corrosive liquids regularly. Another thing you want to protect is your lungs from acid vapors. So you can buy a respirator like the one I'm wearing on the left there. That one's actually got an organic vapor cartridge, but you can buy acid gas cartridges for those type of respirators. They just screw on or snap on. And then you just want to make sure that that fits tightly over your nose and your cheeks, has the two straps on it. And that will, there's neutralizing material inside those cartridges that will neutralize the acid vapors that you're inhaling before it can get into your lungs. Generally, what we're looking at is about a 10-hour exposure to acid vapors before those respirators are saturated and you need to replace the cartridge. It's somewhere in the 10 to 20-hour range. Store these respirators inside a plastic bag that's sealed so they're not absorbing any other corrosive material vapors from the air when you're not wearing them, because the cartridges don't know enough to know when they're supposed to absorb acid vapors and when they're not. And then you can also have local exhaust ducts, like the incredibly expensive one shown on the right, those snorkel versions. Basically what this is just a system that pulls those vapors away from you through a strong fan and directly outdoors. So having something like that will help you prevent toxic fume or dust, or in this case, corrosive vapor exposures. And that's the end of our short little talk about protecting yourself from corrosives. These are compounds that we tend to be a little more relaxed about when we've worked with them for a long time. But realize that these things can really burn your skin and your lungs and your eyes, and you need to protect yourself.
To learn more about chemical hazards in schools, visit doh.wa.gov/school environment.